Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Yasam Tado Jayamudire Shrinvada Swagata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam Hൃദയന്തസ്ഥോ ഭദ്രാണി വിദുനോതി സുവത്സദം നഷ്ടപ്രായേഷു അഭദ്രേഷു നിത്യം ഭാഗവത സേവയാ ഭഗവതി ഉത്തമശ്ലോകേ ഭക്തിർഭവതി നൈഷ്ടതി. Today I'm going to talk about the overview of Canto 4, Chapter 31. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapeshtaya Bhudale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I would like to seek blessings from all the assembled devotees. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to purify myself. Please forgive me for any shortcomings or adding my own interpretation while presenting this class. So in order to prepare this class, I got points from Gurijan Prabhu's book, as well as I watched a YouTube video from a Mataji named Madhavi Devidasi. So chapter 31 is named Narada instructs the Prajetas. This is a wonderful chapter with so many instructions which are good for practical application. This chapter have 31 slokas. In text 1 to 7, Prajetas renounce their kingdom and meet Narada Muni. Prajetas lived at home for 1,000 years, and then they remembered about the Lord and decided to leave the home, leaving their wife with a son named Daksha. Then the Prajetas went to the great liberated sage named Jajal. Prajetas continued their studying Vedas and performed severe austerities there. Then they practiced yogasanas and pranayama and were able to control their breathing, mind, words, and external vision. Thus, they were able to detach from the material attachment. In the midst of their yoga practice, Narada Muni arrived. Prajetas first glorified him and offered him a sitting place. Then they confessed their faulty consciousness. Due to having been engrossed in family affairs, they have been spiritually negligent and have almost forgotten the instructions of both Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. We know from previous chapters that Prajetas were sent to the forest by their father, King Prajinabarhi, to do severe austerities. They met Lord Shiva. Their guru heard Rudra Gita and went underwater and did severe austerities for thousands of years. And finally, Lord Vishnu appeared before them. Then here, Prachetas did not ask for any benediction from Narada Muni, but they requested to guide them and enlighten them with transcendental knowledge, which act as a torchlight by which they can cross the material existence. Text 8 onwards is Narada's instructions. There are three parts to Narada Muni's instructions. First, he explained that devotional service is the goal of our spiritual practices. Secondly, explained that Krishna is the original cause of all spiritual and material nature. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Everything emanates from the Lord, and that the Lord pervades everywhere. Third, Narada Muni concluded that everyone should satisfy the all-powerful Lord by performing devotional service. So in text 8 to 14, Narada emphasized that the devotional service is the goal of all spiritual practices. Here, Narada wants to redirect the Prajetas to the highest goal, which is pleasing the Supreme Lord by performing devotional service. Narada Muni states that Many living entities are born into the material world. But the only perfection of any birth is to achieve the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All other achievements are useless. In text 14, Narada Muni continues, devotional service offered to Krishna automatically satisfies the demigods, so one need not worship them separately. There are two analogy given here is watering the root of the tree nourishes the whole tree. You don't have to water the, we heard many times, you don't have to water the branches and the leaves separately. Same way, supplying food to our stomach nourishes the whole body. We don't have to give food separately to the eyes or head or whatever. Basically, no need to worship demigods. And whatever yajnas or karma kandas we do, it all goes to the Supreme Lord Krishna. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that devotional service is the essence of good works. Modern society is involved in various types of philanthropic works, humanitarian works, and so on. But people do not know that these activities will never be successful unless Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is brought into the center. And text 15 to 17, Narada explains that everything emanates from the Lord. He is worthy of all worship. There are some analogy given here also. During the rainy season, water is generated from the sun, and in due course of time, during the summer season, the very same water is again absorbed by the sun. Same way, our body comes from the earth, and when we die, it decomposes and mixes with the earth. Similarly, everything in creation emanates from the Lord, and everything ultimately returns to Him. Nothing is different from Him because He pervades everything and is the ultimate cause of all. This confirms the philosophy of Ajintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, simultaneously one and different. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is simultaneously different and non-different from the cosmic manifestation. In text 18 to 22, Narada instructs the Prajetas to satisfy the all-powerful Lord by devotional service. In text 18, Narada states, you should therefore engage in his devotional service, thinking yourself qualitatively one with him. But how can we practically serve someone who is so inconceivably powerful? Narada next clarifies the process of devotional service. By showering mercy to all living entities, being satisfied somehow or other, and controlling the senses from sense enjoyment, one can very quickly satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Basically, Narada Muni is saying that a devotee should be merciful to all living entities. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu emphasized three main pillars, Namaruji, Jiva Daya, and Vaishnava Seva. These pillars form the foundation upon which devotees stand. What is the result of such service? So one's heart becomes purified and the Lord reciprocates with the devotees at that point. The pure devotee is always absorbed in the thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is always thinking of Krishna. The pure devotee's heart is freed from all kinds of desires. In the material world, the heart of the living entity is filled with material desires. When the heart is cleansed, he does not think of anything material and see the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the heart. When the devotee recognizes that the Lord is seated within the heart as Paramatma, the devotee cannot be contaminated by the three modes of material nature. When one is under the control of the material modes, he desires so many things and makes so many plans for material sense enjoyment. But as soon as the Lord is perceived in the heart, all material desires vanish. In the purport to text 21, Srila Prabhupada describes the characteristics of a pure devotee, as well as the danger of offending them. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is dependent on his pure devotees. He does not even accept the offering of those who are non-devotees. A pure devotee is the one who feels he does not possess anything material. A devotee is always happy in possessing the devotional service of the Lord. Devotees may sometimes appear materially poor, but because they are spiritually advanced and enriched, they are most dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such devotees are free from attachment to family, society, friendship, children, and so on. They are always happy in possessing the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Narada Muni sweetly concluded his instructions to the Prajetas. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is self sufficient, he becomes dependent on his devotees. He does not care for the goddess of fortune nor for the kings and demigods who are after the favors of the goddess of fortune. In his purport to text 22, describes the reciprocal love between the Lord and his devotees. Devotees cannot forget his obligation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even for a single moment. The mutual attachment between the Lord and his devotees is a creation of the material energy. Such attachment is a natural for both for the Supreme Lord and for the devotees. The Lord is self sufficient but depends on the devotee for love or bhakti. Krishna is bound only by the love and devotion of his devotees. In text 23 to 31, Narada returns to Brahmaloka. Maitreya concludes his discourse and Sukadeva Goswami offers benedictions. Narada Muni returned to Brahmaloka, and the Prajetas, by the mercy of Narada Muni, regained their attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead after hearing the instructions from Narada Muni. Thus, they began to constantly meditate on serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Here it is seen that by hearing the glories of the Lord from a realized devotee like Narada, the Prajetas easily attain strong attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then, meditating on the Supreme Lord, at the end of their lives, they advance to the ultimate goal, Vishnu Loka. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, concludes by returning to Sukadeva Goswami's discussion with Maharaj Parikshit. Sukadeva Goswami has completed his description of Uttanapada's descendants. Hearing about Uttanapada's descendants from Maitreya Muni, Vidura was overwhelmed with ecstasy. With tears in his eyes, he fell down at the lotus feet of the Supreme Master. He fixed the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his heart, offered his obeisances, and taking permission from Maitreya Muni, and departed for Hastinapura. That is all about this chapter 31. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhescha kripasindhubhya evacha patitani